Alright, in this video we're looking at the engine block crankshaft and how we would design it. So first of all, we got to kind of understand what they've got going on here. So we've got a crankshaft. It's got a central shaft that runs through the middle, and then it's got what they're calling these lobes that are sticking up the top and the bottom. Now, according to this picture, they've got these lobes revolved around, so they're not really exactly in line with the side view over here. This is what the side view actually looks like, but their lobes are showing a little bit different than what that actually, either that or they've got the whole thing off center and they just don't have it centered up here. But what I want to do is I want to create a sketch that's got all of this in one sketch that I can use over and over and over again in my drawing. And it'll make the whole thing a whole lot simpler rather than trying to create one piece, then draw another circle, then go back and draw another one, and then another one, and another one, so on and so on. Okay. Now you have lobe A, lobe B, and lobe C. Lobe A is going this way, lobe B is going down this way at 120 degrees, and lobe C is going down this way at 120 degrees. Now something else that's important to note is that there's two lobes. So in each group there's two lobes for lobe C, there's two lobes for lobe A, and two lobes for lobe B. And then in between them we have a shaft that's connecting them all, okay? And then in between these there's a shaft that's out here on the end that connects these, and up here and then down there. Now something else that's important to note is that there's chamfers on every one of the shafts, and they're all different sizes, okay? The ones along the center are what size chamfers? Right, 2 by 45. That means it's going over and up 2 degrees, or 2, and it's cutting it at a 45-degree angle, okay? And so what that gives us is on the inside, our shaft, our main shaft, for the whole part that's going through, is the 35 diameter. And then to fit to the outside, we have a 39, and that's what gives us our 2 by 45, because I'm adding 2 on this side and 2 on that side, so that changes that 35. I got to add 4 more, which gives me the 39, okay? And then on the very end of it, there's this little hub piece that kind of holds everything together, and that's what this 39 is here. But, so you'll see it as we go. Now on these other ones, on the outside of the lobes, what size is my chamfers? 1 by 45, okay? So that means I'm going to have 2 more circles on each one of these. So if you notice, there's 2 circles here, there's 2 circles in the middle, and there's actually 2 circles here and here. They just don't show it because they're showing these as phantom lines, which mean it's just an alternate location or position. So on the ones in the middle, we know that the circles are going to be what size? 35 and 39. Okay, those all run straight through the middle. Okay, now on these other ones we have 35s as well. Okay, so on A, this inside one is 35, but it doesn't have a 2 by 45. It has a 1 by 45. This has 2 by 45, but this has a 1 by 45. So in that case, it has a smaller chamfer, which means that it doesn't go out quite as far. So on it, it's going to have a 35, but it's only going to go out 1 on both sides, which gives me what size circle for the outside one. So I'm adding 1 on both sides. It would give me what size? 37, right. So on these, A, B, and C, I've got a 35 and 37. The ones right down the middle, I've got 35 and 39. Okay, so that's important to note. Now this down here is kind of confusing. This is the ellipse dimension. This is what's making up the ellipse, and basically what you have is you have 37.5 radius on this circle here would be the outsides of my ellipse, the major, the bigger size, and then the 25.5 R, which is the smaller circle, is the radius for this. Okay, so basically if I take 25.5 times 2, that'll give me the distance across my ellipse, and the 37.5, if I multiply it times 2, will give me the height of it. Okay, so if you notice up here, now that looks like 31, but that's actually a 51. So from one side to the other is 51. 25.5 times 2 is also 51. Okay, now the 17 and the 34 is where it gets a little bit confusing. You're probably wondering, well, why do we have those? Well, that stuff, that information tells me how far it is from here to here. So from the center of the whole piece up to one of the centers for the lobes is 34. Okay, now the 17 is just telling me from here to here how to locate that from the center of that ellipse. All right, everybody with me so far? All right, so that's just notes about our sketch. So now let me open up a SOLIDWORKS part, and we will actually start drawing this piece out. So I'm going to start a part. I'm going to start it probably on the right side plane. It'd probably be the best since I want to go from the side view. and then I'm just going to start me an ellipse. Now I'm going to start it off of this, and then I'm going to later go on back and move it on top of that. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to start me an ellipse, and so let's see here, where's my ellipse at? There we are. So I'm going to start here, and we decided what was the height of it. That's your sheets. Yeah, it was 36.5 times 2. So on this, I'm just going to draw my ellipse, go back and add my dimension. So I'm just going to click here, and then all I'm going to do is say 36.5 times 2, and that way it'll do the calculations for me. So 36.5 times 2, that gives me my height. Then I'm going to click on here, and then come over here, and then now it's going to be the 25.5 times 2. Alright, so that gives me my ellipse there. Now, what's the one thing that I forgot to do at the beginning of this drawing? Right, I didn't change my metric. Let's go to millimeters here. It throws me out of the sketch. Now if I go back in here, now my stuff's all jacked up. So let's change this back to 25.5 times 2, and then 36.5 times 2. And then we'll move these in here, move this over, and then I'll click on this and move it over closer to this, and hit F to zoom into it. Okay. Alright, so that is our main part there. Now what I need is I need a line over here, so I'm just going to draw me a center line. It is how tall for the line in between here? What do you mean how wide it was? I'm looking for the line that goes inside here. What do you think, Caleb? What's the line length that goes inside this part right here? Well, it's 17 from here to here, but what's the other side? 34? Alright, so what was the height again? For the line that goes inside the ellipse? You can look on your sheets, it's okay. Right, 34. So we want to change this to 34. Alright, now I want to put this so that that lines up with this. So I'm going to click on that, click on this, and then make those coincident. So now that 34, so now from one side to the other, it should go down 17. Get me from here to here, should be 17. Okay? That's a driven dimension because it's already there. Alright, so that's that. Now what does the 17 tell me? Alright, that's the center point for the whole thing. So the whole shaft, this part running through here, that right there, that gets me down 17, gets me down to that point. That gives me the center point for that. So I've got two circles inside the center point. What size are they? 35 and 39. So the big one is 39, right? And look, it lines up perfectly. These get a little bit jagged, but it does line up perfectly with that one. And then the other one was at 35, okay? So that gets me that part. Now on the opposite end up here, I've got two circles as well. What sizes are those, Matt? Not 39. It's got the smaller chamfer. 37, 35. So the first one we'll do 35. They're all the main shafts are 35, and then we've got this one here. So now let's go back to this, and then this will be my what would you say, 37? Okay. Well, good question. The 37. Okay, so it doesn't tell us right here, but the 37 is based off these right here. So I know that the bigger circle is this size and the smaller circle is this size here. So if you look on here, it says the lobes here at lobes is 1 by 45. The inside one is 35 on all of them. They're all 35. And then the outside one is 39. You know what? Actually, I think I got that backwards. I think this outside one is 39 because see, it looks like it goes from the outside, and then the inside cylinders would be the 37, not the 35. The 35s are on these, but I think this is actually 39 and 37 now that I look at it. Because look, it looks like it goes all the way to the outside of the ellipse, doesn't it? There. So that would mean that that would be 39, and then the other one would be 37. So let's go ahead and change that. I was wrong. Let's change that to 39, which gets us to the outside. And then the other side, since it's a 1 by 45, we'll make that 37 because I'm taking 1 off one side, 1 off the other side, and that gives me my 37. Okay, see where that came from? Everybody understand? Alright, so now that we've got that, I need to go in and I need to create a pattern for this piece here. Or I can go ahead and move this here to here. Maybe it might be better to go ahead and do that. Make those coincident. And then now go back and do my pattern for each one. So now if I highlight this, so these 3 items there, I want to go and do a circular pattern. And I want to pick from the center, which it's already done, except I need how many of these? 3 of them, right? Make them equally spaced, and that should give me 120 degrees between each one. Okay? Let's zoom this out, and we can zoom in there. So now I've got my main sketch that I want to use for everything. Alright, so on this, I can close my sketch now. And so I've got a sketch that I can use here. Now on my sketch, I may want that to always be visible. So if I click on this, I can go up and in a minute, I'm going to have to go up here and say show. So let's start off, first of all, let's go extrude boss. Alright, on my first part, I can choose what item I want. So if I click on this, notice it starts off with that piece right there. Okay, so it's starting with this one circle, which is my outside circle on here, which is the bigger one, which is the 39, right? Alright, so now I've got that. So now somebody look at your sheet and tell me how thick that part is. Alright, so we'll go 14 on it. So 14 millimeters there, and I'm going to click OK, and I got that. Alright, now I want to be able to see that sketch over and over and over again. So I'm going to click on it, click on the sketch, I'm going to say show. That way it always stays active. Alright. Now the reason why I wanted to do it all in one sketch is I'm going to use the Convert Entities tool, which is an awesome tool whenever you learn how to really use it. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sketch here, say sketch, and then I want to pick the inside circle now and just say Convert Entities. Now let's watch what it does. When I say Convert Entities, it copies it from there onto that face, and I don't have to draw it again. Now I can say, okay, extrude that. So how wide is that? So 24, I'm going to click 24, that creates that across there. Alright, so that's giving me the second cylinder. Now let's go back and look at our next part. So our next part we've got here and here. Now I haven't added the chamfer. The chamfer is something you'll add at the end. And then now I've got this first lobe here, and it looks like it's going down to the lower left. So on this one, I want to do a sketch on it, and I'm going to do a Convert Entity. So I'm going to say, okay, Convert Entities. I want to pick this ellipse, and I want to pick the inside circle, not the outside one, just the inside one. And then I'm going to convert both of those. So I want to pick that, hold down the control key, pick that one, pick Convert Entities. It copies it up there. Now I've got that one, now so I can say OK. Now I can go up here and say OK, create a sketch on the end of this. And then I'm going to say, actually I was already in it, wasn't I? Alright, so let me go back to this other sketch. I just forgot I was already in a sketch. Let me say edit. And then now let's go up to edit extrude features. Now I want to extrude both of them in this case, and this one inside here. So I need to pick all 3 of them. And how thick is that one part? 13. Alright, so we'll check that. Oh, let's see here. Didn't like something. Oh, there's something in between there I'm missing right there. So here, let's just clear out this, and then click the outside one. That way it does it all at one time. Alright, so now I've got that part. Now I need to go to the next one, so I'm going to go here, sketch, Convert Entities. After I pick that little circle again, Convert Entities, that adds that one. Now I can go over and I can say extrude base boss, and how thick is it? 21. And then now I can go to the next one, go to the next face, sketch. I can say Convert Entities again after I pick this one. Convert Entities, it copies it over. I can then go up and say extrude base boss, and how thick was it? 13. And so now I've got the first series of my lobe. Now I go to this one and say sketch, pick on that inside circle now, this one inside here, Convert Entities. It's got me my next section, extrude, how thick is it? 34, and then so on and so on. Okay, so y'all see how it works? Okay. Now mirrors and stuff, you can set up to do mirrors and do parts of it will work, but some of these are different lengths, so that doesn't work real well. But if you use that, create that sketch on the very end there, and then go in and just convert entities, and it'll just build it from one side all the way to the other, and it's really super simple. Okay. And unfortunately, you can't do that, Matt. And the reason why is because this one goes to the left, this one goes to the right. So because they're split at different angles there, you can't do a mirror from the midpoint. It's a good thought though. Unfortunately, because this one, if they both went the same direction, that would work, but because they're going opposite directions, that won't work. So now on the other part here, some people were asking kind of about how to maybe handle this one. What I would do on this is I would do a revolve tool. You see the center line that runs down the middle here? I would create this shape of everything here, go straight down, come straight up, and skip this part. Just cut that out, just like it's not even there. Come straight up, come around, come back to this, and then I would revolve that shape right there, 360 degrees. At the end, then go back in here and create a plane down the middle of it, draw you a circle in the middle, 2 circles, and then extrude the bigger circle out to the surface, and then cut the smaller circle through the entire thing. Okay, so you have to kind of build it in a revolve, create you a circle on the inside plane, these 2 circles, and then extrude, cut them out. Okay. Well, it doesn't give us an overall height, but it does tell us how tall it is to the circle, right? Then it tells us how big this diameter is, and then it tells us from the top of that diameter to the top. So do a little math and you guys got it. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Now, on this piece here, this is the part I was talking about that's got the machine surfaces. If you zoom up a little bit closer, it's kind of hard to see, but there's one here, here, on the other side, there, and then also on the top sides and bottom sides of this part here. So here and here, here and here. Okay. All right. If you guys get stuck or whatever, just holler at me and I'll help you guys do it.